What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank you all so much for joining us for this being our review for 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. This is season 8, and this is the first part of the tell all review. I'm so glad that you guys have decided to join us for this review. Hope you guys are ready. So, before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big white subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So, go ahead and mash it for a brother. Also, be sure to leave a thumbs up for this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content I'm putting out on my channel. Also, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the various couples we'll be discussing on tonight's tell all review. Also, be sure to press notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And last but definitely not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTubing streets. Quick announcement, be on the lookout for my review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta that should be coming out tomorrow. It was a bit of a filler episode for me, so it'll probably be a shorter review, but I'll still talk about the things that stood out to me on that particular episode. So be sure to join me for that review tomorrow. We got a couple comments in the comment section. Dustin's the first one to say hi to everyone. And then we have Auntie Robin. Hey, Auntie Robin. Auntie Robin says, goodest of evenings, folks. And then also Auntie Robin says down here in the comments, the first part of the reunion was muy interesante. I can't wait to comment. I am excited for it as well, Auntie Robin. I'm excited for it as well. Dustin, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome and I'm ready to get into this tell all. So let's go ahead and do it. So we'll start with Laura and Beer Con. So Laura and Beer Con, they are still together. Laura went back to Turkey. They spent some time together. They were really getting along. And just as at the end of the season, I really see that Beer Con does truly care for Laura. Now, I don't know if it's actually love just yet, but he is very invested in this relationship. Don't know why, don't know what he sees in Laura. I personally don't get it. But
I don't see
um
what it sees either. That's
right,
okay.
exactly. However, Beer Con is in it to for the long haul. He did say that he was able to pay off his $50,000 debt. He said that he won a jackpot in gambling and the actual prize was $50,000. So I'm not exactly sure how true that was, but if he said it, I can only assume that it is true. Beer Khan said that he's currently living with his parents in an apartment at his parents' house. Apparently, Laura didn't know this. And Emma pipes up and says, not Emma, but Elise pipes up and says, wow, you're just finding that out? I mean, I would have an issue with that if my man told me that he was living somewhere and I didn't know. We all know what Elise went through, finding out that Joshua was living with a female friend of his. So, it is what it is. Auntie Robin says down here in the comments, I was shocked by Laura and Beer Khan. Delivery his delivery on last night's show was better too. Didn't seem scripted. I would agree with that. Bear Khan did seem to be a little bit more loose on this tell all. He didn't seem to have any reservations. I did love Beer Khan on this particular tell all. Auntie Robin also says, I think that if it's true that Beer Khan the won the money to pay off his debt. I don't see him being in control of his gambling. I would agree to that as well. I don't think he has his gambling under control. Sean Robinson asked everyone if they think Beer Khan has a gambling addiction. Almost everyone raised their hand. Beer Khan did say that he would stop gambling. Not sure if that's necessarily true, but hey, it is what it is. That's what he said. Lady Virgo is here. Hey, Lady Virgo. So glad that you've joined us, boo. Lady Virgo says, good evening, everyone, and happy Monday. Happy Monday to you, Lady Virgo. Love you, girl. Auntie Robin also says, Beer Khan still gets the side eye for his secrecy. Oh yeah, his secrecy surrounding his family. Yeah, he did let us know that he and his father are not on the best of terms. He did say that they argue a whole lot, and that is one of the reasons why he did not introduce Laura to any of his family, which is understandable. And Auntie Robin also says hi to Lady Virgo. Then Michael comes out to set. And apparently, Michael and Laura are not on good terms. Apparently, Michael was a little bit cold to Laura while they were at the airport. She was trying to get an upgrade on her ticket to get in first class. And when Michael was trying to get information on how he could upgrade his ticket, she said that he was on his own. And there was an expletive in there as well. Lady Virgo says to Auntie Robin, "Hey, girl, hey." So glad that y'all so nice together to each other in the comments. I love that. I love that. But Michael continues to try to convince everyone that he has no feelings for Laura. I still do think, just as Lady Virgo, not Lady Virgo, but Auntie Robin has said in the past, that I feel like Laura gets a kick out of seeing two men argue and fuss and fight over her.
I would have to agree.
It's not happening anymore now. But she said that she has had to modify her relationship with Michael. And to be honest, it really doesn't seem like Laura and Michael are even friends anymore. Auntie Robin says down in the comments, "I'm not sure which of them is bugging more, Michael or Laura. I think they're both bugging on about the same level." Auntie Robin. Uh, to be honest, I think that Laura and Michael might be a better couple, a more successful couple, but I think that Laura just sees the fantasy in Bear Con, and as you said in the past, Auntie Robin, Laura is living a fantasy, and she doesn't want to get away from that. Lady Virgo says down in the comments to JoJo Speaks, Dustin, "Hey, hey, hey,
Hey, hey,
handsome
hey.
fellas." Hey, hey, hey to you, Auntie Lady Virgo, as well. So it doesn't seem like Laura and Michael will be friends again. Laura did say that she's planning to go back to Turkey. She opened up some papers from immigration because she has applied for a visa for BeerCon. And apparently the notice said that they had one more step to get to finalize his visa. So it wasn't a yes, it wasn't a no. It's just they have one more step to get to in order for the process to continue. Lady Virgo also said, not Lady Virgo. I'm getting you and Robin mixed up. Lady Virgo. I'm sorry about that. But Auntie Robin says Laura is distracted by BeerCon. In my opinion, their anger is what is fueling their estrangement. Oh, yeah, that's true. And that's the only way they can stay fighting and away from each other. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't. I kind of see Laura and Michael as two sides of the same coin. I think they clearly both are interested in one another, and when you're in that type of situation, obviously Michael made his decision to not be with Laura in a romantic fashion. He didn't really necessarily give an explanation as to the reason why he would not be in a romantic relationship with Laura. But it's clear that Michael still has some feelings for Laura. And for him to deny those feelings, especially on a TV show, but even in just her presence, the fact that he would just deny the fact that he's not interested in her when it's clear that he said in his confessionals during the season that he feels like he'd be a much better match for Laura than BeerCon ever would, then what is the message that you're really trying to send? Auntie Robin also says it's okay with me, Joe Nathan, just like Jennifer, just like Genesita calling you and Tyrone by each other's names. Yeah, okay, all right. Thank you so much for that, Auntie Robin, because I hate when people, give me the wrong name. So yeah, thank you so much for that, Grace. So Dustin, what were your thoughts on the fact that Laura and BeerCon are still on good terms? She's going back to Turkey to have her skin removal surgery. He knows that she'll be able to stay there in Turkey while she's recovering. And then the state of Michael and Laura's friendship, it seems to be severed. What are your thoughts on all of that?
I didn't expect it. I
Oh,
expected a whole. I didn't expect it to happen. I mean, I didn't expect it. I expected the relationship to be not the same, but I didn't expect to Laura to be going back and forth from the United States to Turkey. But I didn't expect that part. But I guess we'll see what happens.
were you surprised that Michael and Laura don't seem to be on necessarily good terms at this point? Because it seems like their friendship is over.
Yeah, the friendship has been over, in my opinion.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
the friendship was over when he showed up there unannounced on vacation.
I did like the fact that that one of the other participants did tell Laura, well, you did invite Michael over to Turkey, and what did you think was going to come out of what do you think was going to come out of that? Laura kind of sort of kind of dodged the question. But it's Laura makes the decisions that she makes for herself. She realizes that she's on a TV show, so she's going to bring as much drama as possible, I guess. But it's Laura. Y'all know I have not enjoyed Laura this entire season. I liked her a little bit on the first episode, but as soon as she got to Turkey, things got a little muddled, and I really don't care for Laura at all. Especially the way that she was talking to Ziad, which we will get to in a little bit. Actually, that's the next couple that we're going to talk about. So let's get to Ziad and Emma. So clearly, Ziad and Emma are not together anymore. I was nervous about Ziad coming to the tell-all because for the exact reason that I was so uncomfortable watching it this episode is that everyone jumped on Ziad's neck. Now, not once did we address the reason why Ziad left Emma in a desert all by herself on her birthday, because she revealed to him that she was engaged to someone else while she was still talking to Ziad. But of course, all the women and really the whole cast was up against Ziad. It was the whole cast of 90 Day Fiance before the 90 Day season 8 versus Ziad the entire time. And for no one to hold Emma accountable for her actions is something that I should just get used to while watching 90 Day Fiance, because things typically don't happen the way that I would want them to happen on this show, and I just got to get used to that if I'm going to continue reviewing it. So,
Yeah.
Emma said that she had some information that Ziad was having sex with some British woman before she came to Morocco. And then Emma's sister came onto the set, and Emma's sister started cursing out Ziad and saying that he's a mf'er, he's trash, and saying all these things. And then she reveals that Emma had sex with another man before she even went to Morocco. Then the question was asked, well, how soon before she went to Morocco did she have this affair? She said they assumed that it might have been a week. She said it wasn't a week. Emma said it was a month. Then her sister said it was about 3 weeks, and the story got a little muffled. Auntie Robin says, I feel like Emma's sister wanted to make her look like a player hottie rather. Well, she was acting like a thought on this tell all. But anyways, we'll get to that a little bit later. I think she made her look more like a garden tool. Absolutely. No clean hands. Absolutely. And then Sean Robinson asked the rest of the panel, well, now that you know that Emma had sex with a man before she went over to Morocco, does that change your opinion on the way that Ziad has been treating her? No one answered the question at all. So there's clearly something going on the show where they like to make certain people villains and see certain people as the heroes. And they clearly want to make Emma look like a hero and Ziad like a villain. And everyone's getting on Ziad. Elise is getting on Ziad. Rick is getting on Ziad. They asked him, did he have sex with Emma while they were on the show? And he did not answer the question. And he said if he did have sex with her, he would not answer that question live on television. And Elisa's like, oh well, you claim your religion only when it's convenient for you. You want to do things behind closed doors, but when it gets to you being on TV, you don't want to discuss it. And I respect that about Ziad. It is what it is. I like Ziad a lot. I think he's a very handsome man. I love the
So
fact that
do I.
he dumped Emma. I love the fact that he left her in the desert all by herself because of the information that she shared with him. I completely understand why Ziad did exactly what he did. Um, and so after that comment was made about his religion and him not wanting to discuss his sexual proclivities on national TV, Rick then goes and says Ziad is a fake Muslim. And then Ziad returns with, well, you're a fake father. And then Rick returns with, I'm more the father than you'll ever be in your life. Don't ever say that about me, and blah, 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 blah. Rick really got in his feelings. He went off telling about his grown kids being very successful and him taking care of his younger children every single day and all this good stuff. I think Rick really just wanted a moment. And I think that's the case for all of these people on this show. They're all looking for their moment at the exact same time. So I did not appreciate the way that Ziad was treated on this tell-all. This is the exact reason why I did not want Ziad to come to the tell-all. But what I'm so happy about is that Ziad just let it all wash off his shoulders. He was laughing, he was telling how Emma is well, he could have called her a whore, but I'm glad that he didn't go that low. However, he did actually ask if Emma was a woman. Um, that was quite harsh. I did not like that Ziad said that, but at the same time, you have to consider what everyone is saying about Ziad in the moment, and he's just responding to whatever people were saying. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Let's see. We have a new commenter here. It's Olivia O-07K. Hi, Olivia. So glad that you joined us. Olivia says, so happy to catch this review live. Yay. I'm so happy that you caught it as well.
Hi,
Um,
Libya.
we do this every single Monday at 6 p.m. for every single 90 Day Fiance. Well, not every single 90 Day Fiance show, but yes. Olivia also says, I'm happy Ziad had held his own. I'm happy about that too, Olivia. And once again, I did not want Ziad to be on this tell all because I knew everyone would jump on his back. But I do appreciate the fact that he didn't take any of it personally. Again, he was laughing a whole lot during the entire time. He knows who Emma is. And I think Ziad also knows that the us as viewers see who Emma is as well. And I wish that the production would go more along the lines of what the audience is thinking rather than what they want to portray on the show itself. Olivia also says, Elise, ha ha ha, that was too funny. Yeah, I mean, I think we all know that Elise well, we would all assume that Elise is a biological woman. I wouldn't say that she was, anything but again, that was just Ziad responding to all the hate that was being thrown his way, but he handled it like a boss, and I am so 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 proud of my boy Ziad. So Dustin, you were
Mm-hmm.
saying that you felt like Ziad was going to come to the tell-all, even though you didn't want him to be there either, which I would agree with. How did you think
Right.
that Ziad handled himself against everyone coming up against him, and the fact that he was, having a good time, he was laughing, he didn't take any of it personally? What were your
Mhm.
thoughts on that whole thing, and the fact that
Well,
Emma's
to be
sister came out and said that she had sex with someone 3 weeks before she went out to Morocco to see Ziad?
to be honest with you, I expected him to hold his own. To be honest with you, he held his own in the tell all. But
Absolutely.
I didn't like the sister. I didn't like her sister coming to the tell all and basically telling everybody about her um, her business about that.
Yeah,
I
I
understand.
enjoyed that.
I understand that you're on a TV show, but there's certain things that shouldn't be broadcasted on broadcast TV.
Right. Yeah, I was happy that Emma's sister came out and told all of Emma's business. Because what she was saying alludes to something that happened a little bit later in the tell-all that I'll get to after I read this comment from Olivia. Olivia
Right.
said, "Facts. No one holds Emma accountable." Let's see. Uh, that was Ziad's point exactly. No one holds Emma accountable, and people need to start holding her accountable. So when they were on a break, Emma gets to the back, right? And some of the other ladies are talking amongst one another, and she approaches Forrest and she tells Forrest how cute he is. She tells Forrest, well, maybe I could be your wife here in the States, and and Sheena can just be your wife over in the Philippines. And Emma was clearly flirting with Forrest, which
It's a red flag to me.
yeah. Um I'm trying to find the words to say this in a classy way. Um, Emma is a pick me type of girl. Emma wants everyone to love her. Emma wants everyone to like her. Emma wants everyone to look at her. Emma wants to be the center of attention at every turn. And I don't even think that Forrest would even go for a woman like Emma for plenty of reasons. But I think this just shows us that Emma is not the settling down type. I think Emma, much like Elise, is a hot girl. You know, she's ready for her hot girl summer. You know, she wants to get her D. She wants to get whatever it is that she wants out of the relationship if she does want a relationship. But for her to be flirting so overtly with Forrest in that moment, knowing that Forrest is happily engaged to Sheena right now, shows a high level of disrespect to me. Even if she wasn't serious, because I don't think she was serious in that moment. I don't think she is seriously interested in Forrest in a romantic way. But I think that further tells us the type of girl that Emma is. And I don't want to say Emma is a hoe or anything like that, like like Auntie Robin alluded to a little bit earlier. But I think her flirting with Forrest so openly and so obviously shows us the type of girl that Emma is. And I go ahead and say it. She's showing us that she is just that. Um, so it is what it is. And when Forrest told Sheena that Emma was flirting with him, she said that she would rip the just face off of her. But I'm not surprised. And then when they got back on stage and Sean Robinson brought up the fact that Emma was flirting with Forrest, and asked, and then Forrest told everyone what Sheena said. Sheena kind of backed off of it. So I'm not surprised about that. Olivia
Mm-hmm.
says, especially since Forrest is almost a married man. She is so disrespectful. She really is. She wants to be she wants to be the center of attention for sure. Maybe since she's a twin, she never got attention. I think that's a good assumption to make, Olivia. That she's probably always fighting for attention, and when you have a twin, a lot of times attention can go more towards the other person, or maybe you feel like a lot of people are looking at your twin. Who knows? But Emma is definitely a pick me type of bitch, and I can't deal with those type of people. Auntie Robin says hello to Olivia.
Hello,
So
Olivia. Thanks for being here.
yes, absolutely. Yes, I agree with you, Dustin. Thank you so much for being here, Olivia. I love to see new faces in the chat.
So do I.
Once again, we do these reviews on 90 Day Fiance every Monday at 6 p.m., Olivia. So please be sure to
Yes.
join us in future videos. But let's move on to Jovan and Anna Lynn. So Jovan is over in the Philippines with Anna Lynn. He's been there about 2 or 3 weeks. When she's asked about the baby, she reveals to us that unfortunately she did have a
A
miscarriage,
miscarriage.
so she is no longer pregnant. But Jovan is in the Philippines to help Annalyn with her mother. They sort of kind of alluded to Annalyn's mother being having some type of health issue. That's the only reason why I can assume that Jovan is in the Philippines with the Annalyn. Um, Not much was said for Annalyn and Jovan's segment, and I
Okay.
think that's because they're in a happy place right now. They did show a clip of unseen footage of Jovan saying that if he knew that Annalyn would be as acting the way that she has been this entire season, he feels a little bit juked, not juked, but he feels like he was led astray a little bit um, by Anna Lynn, suckered in, if you will, by Anna Lynn. And he said that if he had known that that's the way that Anna Lynn was, he probably never would have married her. And when Sean asked him, if he still feels the same way, he said that when you're mad, a lot of times you say a lot of things that you really don't mean. And so he and Anna Lynn are on good terms now. And I'm happy about that. It does seem like Anna Lynn has calmed down a little bit, although we haven't seen much of them, after they had that talk about her doing better, about her attitude and the way that she treats him. It seems as though they are happy. They seem to be very happy. And Annalyn cut her hair. I love the bob on Annalyn. Annalyn looks awesome. Auntie Robin says Annalyn seemed the most decent on this, yes, absolutely, on this episode than all of them of the other episodes, for sure, combined, for sure. Annalyn was on her best behavior. And I hope that that is a permanent change that she has enacted, I hope that she is trying to do better for Jovan. And it does seem like she is doing that because Jovan seems to me like the type of guy that if you're not acting the way that he expects you to act or wants you to act, he'll just leave. And so he seems to be very dedicated to Anna Lynn. And I love seeing that. Auntie Robin also says, I wanted to know more about how Jovan is earning a living in the Philippines. For sure, he did say that he quit his job in America, so I'm not sure exactly how he's making money in the Philippines. Auntie Robin also says he felt hoodwinked. You know, folks are always presenting their representatives in the beginning. In the beginning, yeah. There yeah, that's how it is. But I'm glad that Jovan was able to walk that comment back and let everyone know that he and Annalyn are on good terms now, and I'm happy about that. So, Dustin, were you surprised to see that Jovan was in the Philippines with Annalyn? It doesn't seem like they're on better terms because to me it seems like they're in a good space right now.
I wish they would make up their mind. Either they want to be in the United States or uh, be in the Philippines. But no matter what happens, they're happy, and that's all that matters. But I don't, I don't see them staying in the Philippines for the rest of their life. I don't see him staying in the Philippines for the rest of his life. Uh, I think it's going to get very tiring to be in the Philippines. That's just my opinion. Hmm.
Yeah. It seems like this is what they've decided for now. I don't think that Jovan and Annalyn are the couple that are the types to, plan for the future. I think they prefer to live in the now, which is really what a lot of people do. And
Right.
that can go one of two ways. It can go really good or really bad. But you just have to base your decision off of what you're feeling in the moment. So I'm happy for Jovan. If Jovan is happy, then I'm happy. And like I've said, and as Auntie Robin said, Anna Lynn was on her best behavior. Even when it comes to other couples, Jovan was speaking more on the other couples than Anna Lynn was. Anna Lynn was keeping her trap shut, and I was expecting for Anna Lynn to be more vocal about the other couples. But I'm glad that she's holding back a little bit. I know that it cannot be easy for Anna Lynn because when you're that type of person who is always speaking their mind, and you find yourself, having to censor what it is that you're saying a whole lot, then it can be hard. So I really, really, really respect Anna Lynn for making that change for Jovan. And I think that Anna Lynn realized that she can't treat Jovan any old kind of way because
Hmm.
I think Jovan might have had a conversation with her, telling her, well, if you don't act right, then I'm gonna just leave. We can call this marriage off. It is what it is. So I'm so glad that Anna Lynn is on her best behavior. But let's move on to our last couple, which is Lisa and Daniel. So we only got half of Lisa and Daniel's segment on this episode. And Lisa's daughter also came out onto the set. Daniel basically denied all the allegations that Lisa was bringing up against him. Um, Lisa was saying that the cleansing ceremony was actually their wedding. Daniel told her that they were actually married in his country from that cleansing ceremony. And when you
I
listen
don't
to
believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe it.
well, that's what Daniel said. And if you listen to the verbiage that was being used during the cleansing ceremony, they were along the same lines of a marriage ceremony. Like, is this your partner forever? Like, do you promise to, be faithful to them? All this good stuff. So it does not surprise me that Daniel said that that was actually a wedding ceremony. But for him to say that and before Laura even knew that that was the case, to me, that seems very underhanded and sneaky. And I don't like that at all. Auntie Robin says, not the last couple. We've got some chatter to get to about Rick and Trisha. Yes, we will get to that as well. Thank you so much for reminding me, Auntie Robin, because I almost forgot about that. I might not have even talked about that if you didn't bring it up. So we'll handle that last. Um,
Hmm.
Olivia says yes. It sounded like a marriage. It did. It did sound like a marriage, and I didn't realize that, Olivia, until they played it back for us for the tell-all. That it did sound like marriage vows that they were told to repeat to one another. So that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. But Daniel completely denied the fact that there was some woman in his contact listed under the name wife. Um, Lisa's daughter came out and said, that Daniel is a scammer. She called him a scammer to his face. Um, I did like the fact that, it all sort of kind of rolled off of Daniel's back. He didn't let it, really phase him. Once again, I always felt like Daniel, had a mission to get over to America by any means necessary. I don't know if I honestly doubt that he's romantically interested in Lisa, but it is what it is. Auntie Robin says you can say whatever you want, but now, but how legal is it? Right? How legal is it? Did they file papers with the government? Yeah, I'm assuming that they didn't do any of the legal things to actually be legally married in Nigeria. Is that where they are in Nigeria? I think they're in Lagos, Nigeria.
Like goes
So
Nigeria.
who knows? Auntie Robin also says Daniel thinks that he is too slick by half. However, the slick can't outslick the slicked. Right. Daniel and Lisa are both, at least to me, on the same page. I think they both understand what their relationship is. I think Lisa understands that Daniel may not be genuinely romantically interested in her, but I think that Lisa wants to get something out of being with a man from Africa. Maybe I don't know what Lisa's intentions were in being with Daniel. She's clearly interested in Daniel physically. I don't know about emotionally. They did say that after they broke up on the finale, they did get back together for a couple of months, and
Mm.
then they broke up again after Daniel told her that they were actually married in
Right.
his country. So, it is what it is. We'll get to the rest of their segment, on the next episode, because they clearly stopped it in the middle of their segment.
Mm.
But Dustin, what were your thoughts on Lisa and Daniel's segment? Do you said that you don't believe that they're actually married? I don't believe that they're actually married either. But what are your thoughts on their segment altogether?
Well, I think that I'm glad this season is over with.
Hmm.
I'm glad this tell all is next week is the final episode of the tell all, so we can move forward to the next season. Um, honestly, I'm just I don't like Lisa or Daniel, to be honest. I don't. I hope she's happy. Hope she learned her lesson. But you know what I mean. You gotta do what you
Right.
gotta do, and I
Yeah.
I just don't have much to say on this couple. Sorry about that, but that's okay. Um,
It's
I
okay.
just I don't. This couple is not my cup of tea.
I agree. I
Mm.
didn't enjoy seeing either one of them, to be honest, this season. Olivia
Right.
says he did say traditionally married, not legally. She also says she used him for peen. I agree with that, Olivia. And the exchange was a green card for sure, for sure. I think Lisa just wanted to get some good Black African DICK. And hey, if that's what you want, go for it. Do your thing. I'm not here to judge anyone for doing anything it is that they do unless you're hurting someone. As long as you're not hurting anyone, which I don't know if Lisa was necessarily hurting Daniel in any way, shape, or form. I know Daniel was hurting Lisa in some ways. But I mean, Lisa signed up for this. She did, want to do this voluntarily. So it is what it is. Auntie Robin also says, don't forget about Stig. Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about Stig. I mean, there really isn't much to say about Stig for this first part of the tell-all. He did say that that he and Aviva are no longer together. But unless you wanted me to talk about that video that he put out, as far as his rapping video about Aviva, I
Mm-mm.
thought that it was shocking to me initially because Aviva seems to be like such a nice girl, such a pleasant woman. So that was shocking to me. But I have to admit that Stig has some bars in that flow. I mean, that's the best rap I've ever heard from Stig since he's been on the show. Olivia says she scammed him by not holding up by not holding up the bargain. Yeah, that is true. She did sort of kind of scam scam Daniel. Lisa and Daniel are on the same wavelengths, to be honest. I mean, they're two both sides of the same coin, just as Laura and Michael are. Auntie Robin says, I felt like he was trying to charm Aviva. And yes, that video was off the chain. It was definitely off the chain. But like I said, Auntie Robin, that's the best rap I ever heard from Sig. Like he actually, those bars were well put together, and I would say that he might be a good rapper. Auntie Robin says, I agree. They were bars, much better than his performance on the show. Agreed, because when he was performing on the show, I was like, I don't know about these rap lyrics and things of that nature. But if that's your dream, go for it. I just hope that he gets better, and that's what I was thinking at the time. And then when I saw that video of him rapping about Aviva and some of the other people on 90 Day Fiance, I was like, this boy got some bars. I don't know if he got a ghostwriter to put that together for him, because those were some bars, honey. But let's go ahead and talk about Trisha and Rick's news really quickly before we get out of here. So Trisha revealed that she is 6 months pregnant, and it turns out that Rick is not the father. Um, Now, we have to consider the time period of how this all happened. Like, when was the last time? Because my question would be, how soon after she departed from Rick did she actually get pregnant? Because I believe that the tell-all is filmed over a year after the film.
Yeah, it was like it was last year.
Right, exactly. So, we don't know if it's Trisha's ex. We don't know who the father is, but I don't know how Rick feels about that. He didn't seem to be happy about it. Um, but
I wouldn't be happy about it either.
but Rick wasn't going to give her what she wanted. So, and he refused to block his ex-girlfriend from Colombia. Although she's allegedly the mother of his children. Not sure exactly if I believe that or not. I personally don't believe that, but hey, it is what it is. But he didn't do what was right for Trisha, and that's his own fault. Auntie Robin says, can we start here? What was the first thing? That came to mind when you saw Rick's costume? I mean, outfit. It was giving Queen, Auntie Robin. It was giving Queen all day long. Like, he was wearing lavender, y'all. He was wearing lavender. That looked like a child. He was looking like one of the girls up there. Olivia says Chat GPT is his ghostwriter. That was a good one, Olivia. Chat GPT. There was some good lyrics, Olivia. I enjoyed it. Auntie Robin says, I don't care who the father is. I don't care either. Is Who the father is, Maury. I'm just glad that it's not Rick. Exactly, because I don't think Trisha would want a baby from Rick. Olivia also says she's not with any man, but at least she got a baby, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's what Trisha wanted from the beginning. She wanted to have a child, and she's getting her wish, and so is her family. So, I mean, mission accomplished. At the end of the day, no matter who the father is, she got the baby out of it, and that's all she wanted. Auntie Robin says, exactly. I thought about you when I saw when I saw Rick. Joe Nathan, he was definitely queening to me. Yes, for sure. For sure. That's what it was giving. The ruffles on his shirt, like, he went all out, y'all. But that's his choice. So he does what he wants. Olivia says Rick got the fit from the drag pawn shop. Oh, that was a good one, Olivia. He's got his costume, and like you said initially, Auntie Robin, that was a costume. It was very snazzy. It was very zesty as well, giving one of the girls honey. So it definitely did look like a drag outfit, Olivia. I agree with you on that. So Rick is doing his thing, and I can't blame him. But I really want for Sean to make Rick address his sexuality. I'm not expecting it. We haven't seen that question being asked in any of the previews. And I feel as though if Sean were to ask that question, they would definitely put it in the preview. So I'm assuming that they won't address it, but I want them to address it for sure. Auntie
Right.
Robin says down in the comments, "You ain't right, Olivia, but you are funny." Yeah, that was funny, Olivia. I can't blame you for making those assumptions because I'd make the same assumptions, considering what Rick decided to wear for this tell-all. He went all out, honey. The lavender, honey, because y'all know what it is about a lavender marriage, where a woman marries a gay man, and it's lavender. Yeah, it all connected to me. But, anyways, that's all we've got for this review, y'all. We've got another comment here. Let me read it real quick, and then I'll get to our social medias, and then we will get out of y'all's hair.
Yes.
Robin also says, and about Elise, I thought that she was for sure performing and setting herself up for the next 90 days, the 90 days stick. Yeah, that's what it seemed like. I mean, Emma Elise was wearing her, her regular revealing top that she typically wears, so it is what it is. But yeah, we will. This is definitely not the last season we will ever see Elise on. I'm
Mm-mm.
100% sure we will see Elise again. Olivia says, "LOL." Don't forget the tap dances and sells bundles for a living. Yes, he does tap dance and sell bundles for Olivia. You my type of girl, honey. I like you in these comments, girl. You and Auntie Robin, y'all going back and forth. This is
Mhm.
awesome. But it all that together made me feel like he was one of the girls. And the thing is, like, I get that you want to portray yourself a certain way on national television. However, living in your truth, especially at the age of 52, you gotta choose you, honey. You gotta choose you. But thank y'all so much for joining us for this review. This was amazing. Olivia, welcome to my channel. I hope you decide to subscribe. Join me on my 90 Day Fiance reviews Mondays at 6. I also do a hot topics and social commentary show on Thursdays at 8 p.m. So be sure to join me for that as well. I'm so grateful that you decided to come join us for this review. Dustin, why don't you go ahead and share with the people your social media contacts real quick?
Yes, my social media contacts. There's Facebook is Dustin Butler. My Instagram is Dustin Butler 700. Of course, I always want to thank my whole entire team for being here, as well as Jonathan and Jennifer and Tyrone. And I love you all very much. And I also started going live on TikTok. So I got my TikTok is Dustin Butler 24. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Dustin. Olivia says down in the comments, "Thank you. I will. This is fun. I'll be back for more." Thank you so much, Olivia. I really, really appreciate you being here. It's awesome that you were here. Awesome that you were here. Always love seeing new people in the comments, you guys. Be sure you guys follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JONATHANLEE 07. If you would like to donate to my channel so that I can upgrade, do more things for you guys, the viewers, so that we can have the best show on YouTube. Once again, like I told Olivia, be sure to join me every Thursday night at 8 p.m. for my live hot topics and social commentary show. I go live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. with my sister Prophetic Fire Reiki, as well as our friend Brianka Edwards. We had an awesome show last week. Be sure to watch that on the
Replay.
rewatch. Yes, on the replay. Thank you so much for that, Dustin.
Yeah.
And join us next week for part 2 of the tell all. I love you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. Love you guys out there. Stay safe out there. I'll see you.